Well, a question. Your spiritual you isn't confined to the material body, is it? You can't leave it because you aren't in it. You never were. Now, when I say I, how are you going to localize that? Here, in the head? No. Here, in the chest? No. In the hand that moves? No. If you tried with all your fingers and all your instruments, where would you touch the eye? No surgeon has ever yet found any me inside of a body. I am not in the physical. I am not in the physical. Absent from the body, present with the Lord. This is not poetry. This is the beginning of sanity. Let us sit very quietly with that. If I close my eyes and let the world recede, does the eye diminish with the light behind the lids? Or does awareness appear as boundless as if the room were in the eye rather than the eye in the room? Now, where am I? Am I here or there? No, no. The I that says I is not locatable because it is life saying I through this instrument. For in him we live and move and have our being. If I live and move and have my being in him, then I am not a traveler moving toward God. I am the transparency through which God beholds his own. I and my Father are one. Try to put that into a place. You cannot. Oneness is not a street address. My conscious oneness with God constitutes my oneness with all spiritual being and idea. Therefore, our starting point is not the body and not the catalog of its conditions, not a bag of methods, and not a hunt for powers or phenomena. We do not add divinity to humanity. We uncover the divinity that has never left its own. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness is the door. Knowing is the light that fills the room. When you begin here where there is no here, you discover sufficiency before petition. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, not because we reached out and grasped them, but because the one life that is being itself as us is forever self-fulfilling. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Say it softly until it becomes the fact of your breath. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. I am merely the instrument. God is the actor. This is the axiom beneath every step we will take. We are not assembling a toolkit for extraordinary effects. We are consenting to be the place where God shows God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, and love thy neighbor as thyself. Why? Because there is only the one appearing as all. To begin anywhere else is to begin with an illusion and attempt to carry it to heaven. You can't leave what you were never in. You awaken from it. You open your eyes where you have always been, present with the Lord, whole, unconfined one. Now we must speak kindly and plainly to our time. It is a curious age. Your screens sparkle with offerings, psychic sleep meditations that promise to take you out of yourself, techniques to open a third sight, programs to peer at people across oceans. The allure is everywhere. Vision without virtue, power without prayer, shortcuts to certainty. I do not condemn curiosity. The childlike heart is the door of the kingdom. I only name the bait, so you may not bite the hook. Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Wisdom looks past the glitter. Harmlessness refuses to use a neighbor, even secretly, for a private end. Hear me with the tenderness with which I mean it. I hope you will never try to do it. Don't ever tamper with a cosmic law, because it is a double-edged sword. Law is impersonal. It does not smile at your motive one day and frown the next. It simply acts as it is. You may warm your house with electricity. You may also burn it down. The current is not sentimental. It is principle. So it is with spiritual law. As a man soweth, that shall he also reap. When you attempt to bend the impersonal to serve the personal, the edge that cuts your path will cut your hand. This is not punishment from a moody deity. It is consequence within a universe that is. 1. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God means do not toy with principle as if it were clay for your impulse. Tampering is this: the attempt to use an impersonal law for a personal end. Health for me, money for me, influence for me, even, and here is the subtle danger, help for you according to my picture of help. The moment I set out to use, I have stepped out of oneness and into selfhood as cause. That is the fall. True discernment is God revealing, not me using. I have studiously avoided mental and physical contacts. I never give human advice. Why? Because God is the actor and the doer and the beer. I am merely the instrument. If I project thought, I interfere. If I entertain outcome, I corrupt the channel. Thou shalt have no other gods before me includes the God of my good intentions. Do not hear this as a scolding. Hear it as offensive mercy around a garden of lilies. A loving no is the first act of spiritual care in this climate. Not a no to your longing for light, but a no to the tools that darken it. The stove is hot. It will always be hot. Do not put your hand there. Instead, be still and know that I am God. Seek not phenomena. Seek presence. Seek not visions. Seek the visionary. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and let everything else be the lawful overflow. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Signs will come in their place, but never as trophies of technique. These signs shall follow them that believe. They follow, they are not chased. In my oneness with God, I find my safety, my sufficiency, my peace. Let that be the headline over every offer that crosses your path. Refuse the bait. Choose the one. And in that refusal, you will feel the quiet yes of heaven moving as your life. Discernment is not a power I take up. It is a light that dawns. True discernment is God revealing, not me using. Be still and know that I am God. Notice the order. Be still and know. Not think and know. Not try and know. Not send and know. I do not move thoughts around a board. I do not form pictures or push outcomes. I do not even try to help according to my sketch of good. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is not my clever diagnosis of a scene. It is the Father revealing himself as the only fact there is. So I set the boundary cleanly, lovingly, unambiguously. No projection, no mental pictures, no trying to send thoughts across a street or an ocean, no human advice. I have studiously avoided mental and physical contacts, not out of superstition, but out of reverence for the law. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, not even the God of benevolent intention. The moment I try to make something happen, I have set up a second power, and then I must live under the friction of that falsehood. No, no. Let there be no second cause, no second actor, no second will. I and my Father are one, and in that oneness, there is only one life acting as all. God is the actor and the doer and the beer. I am merely the instrument. It is God which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure. If it is God who wills and God who does, then my safety is in surrender, my efficacy is in non-interference. I do not advise, I consent. I do not manipulate, I bear witness. I do not choose the route, I keep the lane clear. The instrument does not sing, the musician sings through it. When the reed tries to play, it squeals. When it yields, music appears. How then does this discernment come? By posture of heart, not posture of hand. I become quiet, desireless. unopinionated, unhurried, and I wait in a state of receptivity until, without a push and without a plan, the click comes. The click, the way, dawn. There is a softening, a surety, a presence that announces itself by being itself. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit. I do not summon it. I stop summoning anything. I do not aim it. I let it be its own aim. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. The knock is silence. The opening is God revealing God. In that moment of union, I am absent from the body and present with the Lord. I am not in the physical. I am in the one. And there, discernment is not information about persons or events. It is recognition of the Christ as the only life of all that appears. It does not tell me what to do to you. It shows me what God is, and that seeing is the doing. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. When I am content with that grace, the need for using vanishes, and the light that reveals is the light that heals, without a word sent, without a thought pushed, without a hand upon the wheel. Let us look plainly at the ground we stand on. Law, not a person's mood, not a caprice in the sky, but law. If you write 2 times 2 equals 5, does a mathematician somewhere frown you into punishment? No. You suffer mathematics, not a punishing mathematician. The principle itself will not support the false sum. Buildings do not collapse because an engineer is cranky. They collapse when we skimp the foundation and violate load. It is the same with a traffic law. You run the red light and the collision is not a sheriff's temper. It is the meeting of velocities under an ignored principle. No. It is not personal. It is not sentimental. It is law. So in the spiritual life, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Do not make that a threat. See it as a compass. Sow to the spirit oneness, love, non-interference, and you reap the harvest of peace. Sow to the flesh, self as cause, wanting to use, wanting to get, and the friction shows up as its own harvest. There can be no selfish purpose in a cosmic law. You cannot wire greed into the circuit and expect light to come to your neighbor's room without the shock finding your own hand. The law is impersonal and therefore just. It blesses without favoritism. It warns without anger. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Hear it not as a church rule, but as the architecture of harmony. When a second God appears, even the shiny God of sincere intention, discord begins, because the one has been divided in our belief. I and my Father are one cause, one actor, one life being all, and the second anchor is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Why? Because there is one, life appearing as neighbor and as this I. To love the neighbor is to align with the fact of oneness. To use the neighbor, even mentally, is to deny the law and feel its edge. It is a double-edged sword. The same law that carries a symphony on a string will cut the finger that insists on sawing at it. You see, then, why I plead for non-interference. If I attempt to push thought, to shape another's path, to get for me or do to you according to my picture, I have set 2 times 2 to equal 5 and must live under the arithmetic of my error, not because God is offended, but because principle is true to itself. The remedy is not penance, it is alignment. Stop writing 5 where 4 belongs. Stop running the red light within. Return to the first commandment. Return to love. Be still and know that I am God. In my oneness with God, I find my sufficiency, my safety, my peace, not by using power, but by not using it, by consenting, by letting the law be law and the love be love. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Say it when tempted to tamper. Say it when fear whispers of lack. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. And the law that seemed a sword becomes a staff, and the path straightens beneath your feet. Now let us come to the simple door you can open anywhere, anytime, without incense, without theater, only honesty. It will be a chair low enough that your feet rest flat on the floor, not dangling and not straining. Sit so the back is supported but not slumped. Let the neck be free. Place the hands quietly in the lap, palms resting as leaves on still water. Do not cross the legs. Do not brace the arms. Keep the hands and arms relaxed. Close the eyes, not for a mystery, only for physical ease, so the world does not pull on the eyelids. There is no occult reason for any of this, only comfort that frees attention. Now, remove the body from thought. How? By letting it be as air is present and uninsistent. Notice the shoulders and let them drop as if a string were cut. Let the tongue rest. Let the breath come of itself. No pattern, no count, no. This is not a breathing exercise. This is consent. In this position, with my eyes gently closed, I am virtually unaware of having a body. Be still and know that I am God. Be still first. Knowing rises on that stillness as dawn rises on a quiet horizon. Become desireless. This is the hinge. Bring no project into the silence, not even a holy one. We do not arrive with a shopping list for heaven. We do not try to get, to fix, to see. Take no thought for your life. Lay the whole kit of wanting at the door and come in with empty hands. If a want whispers, let it pass like a bird's shadow across a field no chase. If a fear chatters, answer once with the password of the heart and let it go. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Now wait receptive, quietly alert, as a watchman on a wall, not drowsy, not tense. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. If images arise, let them dissolve. If words assemble, release them. You are not sending thought anywhere. You are not scanning. You are not listening for voices. Elijah learned it on the mount, not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in the still small voice, so small it has no syllables at all. Presently, no clock rules this. The click comes. You will not make it come. It comes as itself. How will you know peace rises? Not as sentiment, not as picture, but as a settledness without edges. It is as if a petal opened in the centerless center, and the strain of being, someone doing something, let go. The kingdom of God is within you. In that click, you are absent from the body and present with the Lord, and there is nothing to add. No project attaches to it. No plan is born. The very wanting to use it is silenced by it. Abide a moment there. Do nothing. Let the divine flow act without your interference. If a thought suggests, now take this piece and fix that, smile inwardly and let it pass. This is the holy refusal to use. Seek God alone, and in seeking God you have found good. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. You have knocked by being still. It is opened by grace. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Say it until it says you, then rest in the saying behind words. Peace I leave with you, not as the world gives. Remain very quiet, and the law will be law, and love will be love, and you will discover that nothing needed your hand, only your consent. Now the refusal must become a rule, not an episode. Hear it plainly. I have studiously avoided mental and physical contacts. I never give human advice. Why? Because the moment I reach with thought, the moment I touch with will, I insert a second actor into a universe that is one. No. There is only one actor, one doer. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. If the Father doeth the works, then my office is not doing but consenting, not directing but witnessing, not using but yielding. Therefore, do not project, do not visualize, do not try to influence. Let the Father within do the blessing. When thou prayest, enter into thy closet and shut the door on outcomes. Shut the door on pictures. Shut the door on the itch to help according to your sketch of help. The itch feels holy. It is merely human. Prayer is not my thought pushing. Prayer is God revealing God where I am still enough to see. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. So I stand aside. I keep the lane clear. I do not put my fingerprints on grace. The stance is this, and it will save you. Live thou my life, fulfill thyself in me, not my will, but thine be done. Say it until it is the air your lungs have always known. In that humility there is safety, and in that safety there is efficacy, because only God acts and only God knows. I am merely the instrument. God is the actor. The instrument does not instruct the musician. The clay does not lecture the potter. If I advise, I interfere. If I interfere, I divide the one into two and must taste the dust of that division. Know, wait, yield, consent. My conscious oneness with God constitutes my oneness with all spiritual being and idea. That is the connection. It requires no manipulation. Where there is one, there is no distance to cross and no signal to send. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I make my bed in the sea of forgetfulness, thou art there. If I ascend to the height of a need or descend to the depth of a fear, thou art there. Oneness is the bridge, because oneness is the ground. Therefore, do not build rope bridges of imagination. Rest on the rock. This holy refusal to use is not passivity. It is pure availability. It is the branch abiding in the vine and fruit appearing because life appears. I am the vine, ye are the branches. Without me, ye can do nothing. Without me, you can use, you can strain, you can scheme. With me, you need not. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Hold to that password when the mind suggests methods. Hold to it when the heart aches to meddle, and watch how safety and quiet efficacy are born, not from power used, but from power present. Now let me speak, not theoretically, but as one who has watched grace act when no hand tried to guide it. Over the years, letters have come from a village where the sea meets gray skies, from a hospital ward lit too brightly at midnight, from a little room over a bakery where worry had taken a chair. The pattern is always the same. I am in my quiet, desireless, without project, without picture. I wait, and the click comes soft, undeniable, without edges. In that instant, the sense of anyone having a problem dissolves. There is only presence. Later, a letter arrives that says, at that very hour, peace came. The child who had been restless slept. Clarity returned. The fear loosened and fell. I had not sent anything. I had not pushed a single thought across a street or an ocean. Before they call, I will answer, saith the Lord. The answer is himself, not my message. More than once, someone has written, you were in the room. I saw you. No, hear me kindly. I was not there as a traveling person. I am not in the physical. Absent from the body, present with the Lord, describes a state of awareness, not a journey on a psychic road. What they touched was not my personality walking through walls. It was the same presence that revealed itself to me in the click, now being recognized where they were. Lo, I am with you always. The always is not a path, but an everywhere of God. Do not call it bilocation. Call it God alone. One life, one mind, one appearing. A mother once wrote, at 2 a.m, I sat up, not knowing why, and a calm like warm light filled the room. The fevered brow cooled, and I slept. At 2 a.m. here, the click had opened, and with it the felt fact that there was no fever to oppose God. I did not address a child. I did not command a temperature. I knew only God, and the knowing was the doing. Another wrote, a businessman, I had an impossible decision. I stopped arguing, and suddenly it was as if the answer had been waiting for my quiet. That same evening, the click had ended my thought of him and left, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, and it shall be given. It is given as presence, not as advice. Do not ascribe these fruits to a technique or to a person. God is the actor and the doer and the beer. I am merely the instrument. The instrument did not go. The music was there. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. In the holy moment when oneness is realized, the urge to use disappears, and aid appears without projection or control. Peace rises, and effects follow naturally, wordless, effortless, right. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. When that is the atmosphere, needs cease to be events and become transparencies through which God beholds himself, and that is enough. Now we must speak of cost, and let it be a mercy to hear it. When a principle is impersonal, it cannot be argued into indulgence. It answers to itself. As a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Do not hear thunder in that. Hear a compass. If you sow to spirit, oneness, love, non-interference, you reap rest. If you sow to self as cause, visualizing outcomes, steering persons, you reap the friction of your own fingers on the wheel. Misuse boomerangs on the user, not as punishment, but as the exact echo of what was sent. Consider the engineer who admires a bridge but decides he knows better than the blueprint, trims the rebar because it looks sufficient, ignores the cure time of the concrete because the calendar is impatient. On the day of the opening, with banners flying and a brass band playing, the span shakes, hums, and folds into the river. Did a moody principal grow angry? No. The principal answered precisely to what was built into it. 2 times 2 remained 4, even beneath speeches. It is the same in your consciousness. If you wire fear or will into your structure and call it faith, under load, it will answer to its ingredients. Or take the red light. You meet it at a quiet intersection, no car in sight, and you run it. Around the corner, an unsuspecting driver moves on the green. Steel meets steel. Is the sheriff punishing you? No. The collision is the lawful sequence of an ignored order. Traffic law is mercy before the crash. After, it is a lesson bought with metal and bone. Spiritual law is not different. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God is love, keeping you from entering intersections with your eyes closed. Now to our hidden practice rooms, where curiosity dresses as care. You take up visualization, precise and painted. You sketch a diagnosis turning this way, a market turning that way. You send thought like an arrow and feel, for an hour, a sense of control. Then the arrow curves and returns. Anxiety rebounds. The mind grows noisy. The heart grows suspicious of silence because silence stops obeying. Confusion rises. Why did it not work? And then fatigue, the spiritual kind, as if the soul had been carrying sand in both hands. You cannot long push an impersonal law toward personal ends without dulling your own hearing. He that taketh the sword shall perish with the sword. The very instrument you grasp to use becomes the edge that grazes you. What then? Mercy is nearer than consequence. Put the sword down. Forgive yourself 70 times 7. You have as much right to forgive yourself as to forgive your neighbor. Do not analyze the hours spent. Do not rehearse the error. Return, return unto me, and I will return unto you. Enter thy closet, close the door on pictures and projects. Say softly, not my will, but thine be done. Be still, and know that I am God. Wait without aim until the click comes and presence replaces plan. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus. The law that met you with the exactness of a mirror will also greet you with the exactness of peace the moment alignment is restored. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. In that restored oneness, yesterday's boomerang drops to the ground, and the path is clear again beneath your feet. Now hear the positive law that runs like music beneath the world. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. This is not church ornament. It is the operating system of ethics, the architecture of peace. No other gods means I do not set up health as a god to be gotten, money as a god to be gotten, success as a god to be gotten, nor psychic powers as a glitter I chase. No, no. To make any form the object is to forget the source and to live on crumbs while the loaf stands unbroken before you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Seek God, and you find good, not as a prize, but as the natural overflow of the one. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Say it when want whispers. Say it when fear leans close. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Love thy neighbor as thyself is not sentiment, it is physics of spirit. There is one life appearing as neighbor and as this I. Therefore, love is alignment with fact. Using is the denial of it. When I want nothing you have, and you want nothing I have, there is no possibility of a war. Then commerce becomes service. Conversation becomes blessing. And even disagreement is a searchlight for truth rather than a battlefield for egos. Perfect love casteth out fear. Where love is the atmosphere, suspicion cannot breathe. Where love is the motive, manipulation cannot find a handhold. Judge not according to the appearance, but behold the Christ where the mask of personality used to frighten you. This is the order of sufficiency. One God, one love. We do not claw at effects. We consent to cause. Knock at the door of your own consciousness, not the neighbor's mind, not the world's noise, and it opens. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. What opens is not a vault of things, but the presence that is all things in their place. Obedience to one God and love orders life the way true sums order a ledger. Balance appears because principle is present. You do not plead with arithmetic, you align with it. So do not plead with life. Align with the one and watch peace settle like a rightful gravity. Let this be your inward vow each morning. No other gods, no idol of health, money, success, or sight. One God, one love. I will not take, I will share. I will not fear, I will trust. I will not use, I will consent. I am merely the instrument. God is the actor. In my oneness with God, I find my completeness, my security, my peace. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Hold to it until it holds you, and the day will reveal itself as a river that needed only the banks of obedience to run clear and enough. Now, let us give the heart a rule, simple and sufficient to keep this way clean. Morning and evening, keep a gentle appointment with silence. When thou prayest, enter into thy closet. Sit as before, comfortable, unforced, eyes closed for ease, body removed from thought. Come without projects, wait without aim. If the click comes, rest in it. If the click does not come, do not strain, do not force, do not bargain. Close in peace with a soft thank you and go about your day or your night. Be still and know that I am God. Be still, and if the knowing does not flower in sensation, be still anyway. The fidelity trains the heart. The law keeps the appointment even when you cannot feel the meeting. In the course of the day, carry the password of sufficiency as breath carries life. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things, not as a charm, not as leverage, but as remembrance. When want whispers, thy grace. When fear leans close, thy grace. When someone's urgency tries to rent space in your mind, thy grace, let it replace fear thoughts, the way dawn replaces shadows by appearing, not by struggle. Pray without ceasing is not many words. It is one word known well. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Set this integrity check like a gate at every decision, every reply, every lift of the hand. Am I desiring to get? Am I itching to fix? Am I eager to impress? If yes to any, stop. Do not polish the motive. Do not justify the haste. Stop and return to the closet of silence, even for 30 holy seconds. Say inwardly, not my will, but thine be done. Be still. Let the motive dissolve back into oneness before you move. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Action that waits to be emptied before it begins will not carry the grit of self into the machinery. When requests come, and they will, in the tone of curiosity or the glamour of special sight, refuse them lovingly. If a friend asks, what do you see about my outcome? Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Offer no clairvoyance, no prediction. Give only what is yours to give. Prayerful receptivity and loving presence. You may say, I will be still with you. I will behold God where fear paints pictures. Then keep your promise, enter the closet, shut the door on outcomes, and wait without using. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. God is the actor, I am merely the instrument. At day's end, release the day. If you have tampered, forgive 70 times 7 and return to alignment. If you have kept the way, give thanks and sleep in that gratitude. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. These homely guardrails are not small. They are the frame that keeps love from spilling into use. Simple disciplines keep discernment pure and protected from misuse. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Now let us seal this way upon the heart with a simple, shining litany, not to persuade God, but to remember God. In my oneness with God, I find my completeness, nothing missing, nothing broken. In my oneness with God, I find my security, not a fence, but an all. In my oneness with God, I find my peace, still water the world cannot stir. In my oneness with God, I find my joy quiet, unborrowed, untraded. In my oneness with God, I find my fulfillment, the purpose fulfilled by presence being itself as this I. Say it softly. Let it say you. I and my Father are one. I am merely the instrument. God is the actor. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Therefore receive this warning as a father's arm across a child's chest at the curb. Do not tamper. Do not use law for use. Cosmic law is impersonal and double-edged. It will not flatter our sincerity if we reach with will. As ye sow, so shall ye reap. He that taketh the sword shall perish with the sword. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. Grace needs no helper. It needs no technique. It needs only room. When the itch to fix, to push, to see, to steer appears, answer with a kindly, final no, no, no projection, no manipulation, no second actor in a universe that is one. Be still and know that I am God. The charge is simple and sufficient. Knock within, seek only God, rest in silence, desireless, unaimed, and wait until the click comes of itself. Then let the click carry you. Do not try to carry it. If no click, no complaint, only quiet fidelity, when the click opens, you are absent from the body and present with the Lord, not traveling, not using, only awake to the everywhere that already is. The next thing will be given without your meddling. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, one step right, not a searchlight into someone else's life. Trust that one step. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Let us make our vow in the language of the heart. One God, one love, one life. No other gods, no idol of health or gold or sight. I will not take, I will consent. I will not fear, I will trust, I will not use, I will behold. Live thou my life, fulfill thyself in me. I and the Father are one. In my oneness with God, I find my completeness, my security, my peace, my joy, my fulfillment. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Go in this quiet, saying little, doing less, yielding much. Choose oneness and obedience. Refuse tampering, and grace will suffice in all things. And so it is. And I thank you.